Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello friends, fans of the Infinite Dilemma channel. This time we will discuss the appearance of aliens in the United States. This has made the world community in an uproar. Donald Trump as the President of America prepares a brilliant strategy to prepare if the aliens threaten the Earth. The United States as a superpower is trusted by countries in the world to maintain the security of the Earth. Can Donald Trump's brilliant strategy protect the Earth? Curious about the story? Keep following Chanel and watch the video, but before that, with the sincerity and kindness of the viewers, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and activate the notification bell. Hopefully the viewers who subscribe are always in good health, their fortune is smooth, those who are starting a business may their business be smooth, and those who are still single may get the woman they want, amen. And the sultans who want to treat women to coffee and fried foods can directly send their SAR. The link is in the description column. Okay, let's go. The Nevada night sky was suddenly illuminated by a slow-moving greenish light, causing a wave of astonishment among local residents. Initially, many thought it was merely a secret Area 51 military exercise, but amateur footage circulated showing a shape unrecognizable by human aviation technology. Social media was immediately filled with speculation that this was the first sign of intelligent extraterrestrial life. Scientists from various space agencies communicated with each other, trying to determine whether the object was simply a natural phenomenon or a truly alien spacecraft. Military radar recorded the object at an altitude impossible for a normal drone, and its sudden, curving movements exceeded the limits of human aerodynamics. The conflicting information only fueled curiosity and tension. When the government officially announced that it was investigating the strange object, the world froze in shock and fear. Countries began monitoring their skies, fearing a similar event. The world braced for something that had long been considered a myth in science fiction films. That afternoon, a press conference was held in Washington to provide an initial explanation, but the nervous tone of officials only reinforced the suspicion that this was no ordinary occurrence. Allied nations immediately sent requests for further information to the United States, hoping to share satellite data related to the sighting. The world's eyes were now on the US, awaiting confirmation regarding the aliens that might have visited Earth. In various major cities, small demonstrations began to emerge, demanding transparency from the government about what was happening. Some viewed this as a threat to humanity, while others interpreted it as a sign of hope for the discovery of a new civilization that could pave the way for progress. The uncertainty filled the global atmosphere with theories ranging from conspiracy to optimism. Meanwhile, international space agencies examined cosmic radio signals to detect possible communications from the object. But every effort proved fruitless. The aliens remained silent, showing neither friendly nor hostile behavior. The world entered a prolonged period of anxiety. As President of the United States at the time, Donald Trump was at the center of global public attention, wondering whether he was capable of leading as the first figure to confront the space threat. Trump held an emergency meeting with his national security advisors and intelligence chiefs to formulate protocols for handling this crisis. The international media monitored his every move like waiting for the plot of a film with an unknown ending. Trump appeared before the nation with a brief speech, stating that the government was conducting a thorough study and would announce it when scientific certainty was available. However, his blunt manner only heightened public curiosity about how America would respond if aliens actually arrived in large numbers. People wanted assurances, not mere verbal reassurance. Other world leaders requested special briefings from Washington, signaling that America remained the center of global defense. Trump recognized that his position was not merely head of state, but also a representative figure for humanity in the face of something unprecedented. The weight of that history began to be felt in every strategic decision he made. The White House began summoning astrophysicists, space experts, and exoplanet researchers from top American universities. They formed a joint team tasked with analyzing the object's nature, assuming the threat should not be underestimated. A closed research facility was reopened for the first time since the Cold War. Scientists examined radar recordings, remodeled the object's movements, and discovered something astonishing: a change in velocity faster than anything ever observed by humans. They believed the technology originated from a far more advanced civilization. The findings were reported directly to the president, further escalating the tension in the meeting. Trump listened intently to the explanation before ordering a heightened defense plan. He knew that if this was not a peaceful visit, a response would have to be swift and precise. Experts were asked to prepare advice on establishing lines of communication with the foreign powers, as well as options for action if they became aggressive. Leaked news of the flying object's extraordinary capabilities sparked widespread panic in many countries. Food stocks began to be stockpiled, and the media offered varying interpretations that only exacerbated the situation. Collective fear turned into mass unrest. Global stock markets oscillated, and investors rushed to move assets into perceived safe havens like gold and cryptocurrencies. Governments around the world reassured their citizens, but rumors that aliens might be assessing human civilization for specific motives continued to grow. A period of global anxiety began. Religious organizations held communal prayers, while the scientific community urged calm and reason in the face of this phenomenon. The world seemed to stand on the brink of a new chapter, one between destruction and progress. All eyes were on American policy. Trump announced the formation of the Space Defense Council, a joint military scientific body aimed at developing tactics for dealing with non-human threats. This move was met with both anxiety and relief, as it finally had concrete action rather than simply waiting. The council was tasked with formulating the first protocols in history for dealing with extraterrestrial intelligence. The initial strategy included close monitoring of American airspace, the deployment of new surveillance satellites, and the establishment of a multi-frequency signaling system. Air Force officers were trained to respond to possible direct contact if the object made a reapproach. All of this was done without inciting public panic. Trump also tasked diplomats and interspecies psychology experts with crafting a welcoming message that emphasized peace. The goal was to anticipate that aliens might seek dialogue, not war. The entire strategy captured the attention of the world. A few weeks later, the mysterious object reappeared, this time over the Atlantic Ocean. Global radar detected it approaching the American East Coast. The previously anxious public was now utterly terrified. The U.S. military went on full alert and fighter jets were dispatched to monitor from afar. Pilot footage showed the object did not attack, merely hovering as if observing. The world held its breath, waiting to see what would happen. Trump immediately convened an emergency meeting and authorized a team of scientists to send the first communication signal. All eyes were fixed on the large screen in the National Security Operations Room, awaiting a reaction from the alien entity. However, instead of responding, the object suddenly vanished. The object's disappearance presented a new puzzle for experts. They suspected that the alien's technology far exceeded humanity's ability to navigate spacetime. The data gap exacerbated frustration among scientists. The media promoted various theories, ranging from reconnaissance to planetary evaluations before an invasion. Trump was at a point where decisions had to be made despite a limited knowledge base. The world demanded answers, even though the government lacked certainty. The U.S. invited other nations to share research and form a global space coalition, but some countries were skeptical of Washington's motives. Nevertheless, this move reflected America's desire to maintain global order. Rather than panic, Trump chose to consolidate power. A team of interspecies communication experts is trying to understand how alien entities might interact non-verbally. They are studying the movement patterns of objects and linking them to a possible form of energy-based language. This research is the foundation of Trump's diplomatic strategy. In a large meeting, scientists presented that the movement of objects could be an environmental test to gauge human intelligence. Trump received the analysis with rapt attention, ordering that a new message be sent with a specific energy rhythm. The hope was that it would stimulate an alien response. The effort was conducted discreetly and highly controlled to avoid public alarm. Scientists began to accept that aliens might have a very different method of communication. The world watched America with unbridled curiosity. After the special signal was sent, a space telescope suddenly recorded a return beam of energy from a location far in Earth's orbit. The pattern appeared non-random, as if it were a genuine response to the previous message. The scientific team cheered. This might be the first contact in human history. Trump was immediately briefed with full details, realizing how monumental this moment was for human civilization. He ordered the team to develop a follow-up, more complex message, hoping this communication would continue. The world was now moving from fear to renewed curiosity. But the energy response suddenly cut off and did not reappear for several days. Although brief, the interaction proved that aliens were aware of humanity's presence. The world now felt a new chapter in history was truly beginning. The UN held an emergency meeting and, by a majority vote, declared America the leader of international coordination in the face of possible alien contact. Other nations sent their best experts to Washington. America once again assumed the role of protector of the planet. Trump asserted that this mission was not just for his country but for the survival of all humanity. He promised that the US would not withhold information necessary for global security. This statement was met with applause in international forums. Diplomatic relations around the world strengthened as this common threat united previously hostile political blocs. This unity laid the foundation for Trump's grand strategy: the collective defense of Earth and the establishment of opportunities for interspecies dialogue. The world now felt safer, at least for a while. Behind the scenes, the Pentagon prepared for the worst-case scenario if communications turned into alien aggression. Experimental weaponry was tested, while orbital laser defense systems were re-examined. Trump wanted to ensure that if a war broke out, humanity would not go down without a fight. Scientists were also developing devices to measure the biological potential of aliens in the event of physical contact. Secret laboratories worked around the clock, involving researchers in biology, nanotechnology, and even quantum linguistics. The world was unaware of the intensity of these preparations. Trump's strategy was twofold: opening the way for diplomacy and honing defense forces. He knew that aliens might be far more advanced, but humanity could not afford to give up without a commitment. Tensions continued to rise. A critical moment arrived when the alien energy signal reappeared, this time in a much stronger form. American security systems detected a repeating pattern that resembled a linguistic structure. Trump immediately summoned the entire team to the Situation Room. A quick analysis indicated that the signal might be an invitation for further communication. Despite the risks, the president decided to send a package of information about Earth's social structure, culture, and a message of universal peace. This decision was considered both bold and visionary. The response signal came in the form of a harmless energy spectrum and faded into silence. While it didn't provide a definitive answer, a team of scientists assessed that Trump's strategy had succeeded in sparking peaceful interaction. The world waited with bated breath. Now, the global narrative has shifted from fear to curiosity about the future of interspecies relations. Trump announced that America's defense and diplomatic strategy would continue to be developed in collaboration with an international coalition. He asserted that aliens do not appear to be aggressors at this stage. However, scientists continue to caution that the first communication is only the beginning of a long chapter in civilizational relations. Trump's strategy may be appropriate for now, but it may not be sufficient if future scenarios become real threats. The world remains vigilant, ready to change the foundations of policy as developments develop. Ultimately, the success of Earth's defense depends not on a single nation but on the collaboration of all humanity. Trump's strategy is a starting point, but the future of the planet will be determined by our collective ability to understand and respond to alien intelligence. A new chapter in history has opened, and humanity awaits the answer in the infinite sky.